There's nothing more
embarrassing
than being that neighbor on the block where people are trying to have curb appeal and your house ends up looking really tacky. If your home has any of these, I can confidently tell you that your neighbors are 100% judging you. Gnomes and mushroom ceramics. Oh Lord, the chokehold that these decor pieces have on Midwestern house moms is diabolical. We've all seen those Goosebump episodes, right? They all come to life at night. It's a little bit creepy. I don't know where that gnome, mushroom, and fairy fantasy came from when it came to exterior home decor, but it's wild. If you do have any of these, especially in your front yard, keep them to your backyard. You can like hide them in the little plant. But in the middle of the night, if I see a spotlight coming down and little eyes coming out of your bush, I'm getting the hell out of there. I'll let you off the hook if you have one of them because it can be cute, you know, if it's just kind of like off to the side. But if you start creating an entire colony, seek therapeutic help. There's nothing I hate more than coming up to someone's home and there's a big welcome sign. I swear to God. It's very much a country thing. Listen, I grew up in the country. Every single home has that rustic barnwood piece of driftwood and that beautiful hand-painted welcome. It's massive. It's usually the size of the entrance door themselves. Let's just say that if I had a home in suburbia, you would not be welcome. I'm not having any sign that says welcome coming in, including the mat. It's not working for any curb appeal. I hate to say it, but you're just inviting robbers in because they are now welcome in your home. Because you've accepted every single person, good and bad. This is a big one. Ugly fences. Whether they're new, super contemporary, or just degrading and falling apart. Replace the fence, people. I am telling you. If it looks like it's gonna fall over with the next gust of wind coming in, it needs to be replaced. It's also one of those pieces that needs to be maintained regularly. This isn't just you put up the wood and you just leave it and hope for the best. Sun damages over time. Make sure you have a proper stain on it to make sure that this is also maintained. Another note for these fences as well is to make sure that they are properly proportioned and scaled for your house, your neighbor, and where they're located. I've seen the little tiny ones that are going to give you no privacy, no protection. I've also seen ones that look like you're in Fort Knox. You do not need a 10-foot fence around the perimeter of your backyard because now it is no longer a backyard, it's a penitentiary. If you have those cheap little lattice toppers as well, I don't know where the fantasy came from of having the white picket fence. It doesn't look good. It looks so bad. It looks so flimsy and honestly it's not keeping anyone out. I have a personal offense with this one because growing up in the country, I loved landscaping, I loved gardening. I was the person that maintained everything in my parents' home and they wonder how I turned out gay, obviously.
Gay!
But that's besides the point. When it comes to landscape, at least make it look nice, people. Mow the lawn. You don't need overgrown grass and weeds popping up everywhere because it ends up looking like a crack house. I know that's not very PC to say, but the amount of times I've seen every home along the block that is perfectly groomed and there's always one house that just has everything overgrown. You're like, really? Like, come on, people. Mow the grass at the bare minimum to make it at least look nice. It doesn't take much to manage the front yard. If you are lucky enough to have a front yard, take care of it. And if you have the budget for landscaping, play with different layers. Don't have everything flat or just rely on one single plant. Mix up the colors, mix up the textures, the size of leaves, and the different proportions of like higher plants and lower ones can really make any front yard look so chic. Edging your grass. And no, that's not the kind of edging I'm talking about. Get your weed whacker. And no, once again, not the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Edging your grass and creating that nice trim profile around the sidewalk, the garage, or even around your garden. Create that beautiful architectural moment where everything looks framed. Cutting your grass and doing this will instantly make any home have an extended curb appeal that always looks great. I should have probably started with this one. In my opinion, I would say the front door is going to make or break any design of the exterior side of your home. Random pops of color and this dream of having like a bright red door or a bright yellow or just a primary color in general, the only thing that signals to me is now that is the first thing I notice when I'm walking around the block. And you know what that means? First thing a robber is going to see too when they're looking around the block. If you've been following me for a while, you know a pop of color does absolutely nothing for any space, exterior or interior. And a friendly reminder that the problem is not the color, it's the relation to the front facade of how it actually connects to the space. If you have a red red brick surrounding, you have a red door, great, it works. If you're popping with something cool like a blue door and you have like vinyl white siding, it's not gonna work. Nothing grinds my gears more than seeing non-functional shutters. Getting those ones that are just copy and paste on each side that don't actually close off, especially if they're in a contrasting color from the window frames and the actual color of the exterior of your home. They're not doing anything for your exterior except adding the fact that it's fake. There's nothing great about it. Do better. Design Daddy is 100% judging you on this one. And most of the time they're improperly scaled as well. You need a shutter that is half the width of the window. If you have this big ass bay window that's this big and I see little shutters on the side of it like this, like come on, really? And if you made it this far in the video, you know what to do already. You best be subscribed. Like come on, I'm making you laugh. I make myself laugh because I am funny. Or at least that's what I like to tell myself. It depends how serious I am on the day. And you can also follow me at Mr. Phoenix Gray to see all my daily tips and tricks on Instagram and on TikTok. Materiality is extremely important when it comes to selecting your finishes on the exterior side of your home. And it is also really important to understand how the sun is going to bleach it. A UVA and a UVB index is going to remove color and pigment from any finish you choose, even after one season, because items like that, especially with natural material, require a level of maintenance that comes with them. You need to clean them and either sand them down or oil them to make sure that that color, vibrancy, and richness of those finishes will last the entire length of you living there. And just an FYI, if you are neglecting the exterior finishes and like the siding and areas of your home, this is where water damage happens, especially on your roof or any connection of materials of your home. Maintaining that waterproof barrier is so important. So make sure that you are looking at what materials are best fitted for your geographical location and what materials are going to actually withstand the weathering. Because if I see another front door or wood trim around the windows that are faded out and look like driftwood, your house looks cheap and it's honestly falling apart. Nobody wants that. Picking an exterior paint is also extremely important. You can't just use a regular oil or acrylic base when you're doing your exterior because it doesn't have a UVA or a UVB protection on it. Exterior paint grade, this is the one thing that I will say, always go with the highest and top quality paint for this, so that color is always going to remain looking fantastic. Much like the interior of your home, the exterior lighting is very, very important. Blue light, warm light. The difference is even more dramatic on the exterior parts of your home. When it comes to the exterior lighting plan, I work very closely with the architects when I'm designing a space because I need to make sure the exterior of the home is a reflection of the interior. If I see another McMansion with pot lights lined up around and underneath the soffits and making your house look like a stadium, big red flag. Now I get it. I know you're gonna come from me in the comments saying, Phoenix, you need brighter light outside. Yes, that is true. But you don't need to have an 8,000 Kelvin rating where it is literally bright blue. You can get away with a 4,000, even a 5,000 on the exterior to still give you a warm light in the evening so it's not the first thing you see when you walk into a neighborhood. Floodlights also flatten the facade of your home. Playing with different layers of up and down lighting and also emphasizing the texture and the finishes on your exterior are a really great way of making your home look phenomenal at night. If you have uplight even in your shrubbery or the trees that create a beautiful cast shadow, this already tells me you know what you're doing with your exterior. I'm also going to give you a red flag if you leave up your Christmas light all year round. Like, come on, people. I get it. I know they're a lot of work, especially if you have a really tall home, but come March, if it's hot and I see multicolored light fixtures around the trim of your home, jail. Immediately jail.
Lock them up.
Oh man.
Lock them up.
You had plenty of time to take those off. Now this one I'm kind of on the fence of because it's playing with vine plants. Now vine plants are extremely beautiful. They really add a lot of character to the exterior side of your home, but they can look tacky very quickly. Now vine plants are literally that. They are vines, which means they root into everything, which means you can only have these on certain facades of your home. But keep in mind, these roots are going to dig into whatever exterior finish you have, whether it's a vinyl or a brick. So over time, it's actually deteriorating it. If you do want to have the fantasy of having this beautiful vine growing up the side of your home, keep in mind that this requires a level of maintenance that you may not be prepared for. And an additional note that if you are going to have them, I will always recommend having some kind of a lattice or an arbor ladder that comes up that's actually removed from the side of your home so the vines grow on that so they're not actually ruining their siding or the facade of your house. The last thing you want is trimming down these beautiful vines and noticing that your brick bricks of your exterior are actually falling apart. I will be honest, they do have that kind of romantic aspect of it, but if you're doing a vine, I personally like having them on fences to really give you that sense of volume, because once you add them to the house, controlling that sense of balance and symmetry of how they grow can be a nightmare. This is probably a generational thing, but you do not need seating at the front of your house. You don't need to have the swing. You don't need to have the exterior chairs. You know why? Because the only people that are sitting out there are like 80 plus. I've never seen the allure of like sitting at the front of your home, looking out at either pavement or your neighbors. You probably have a beautiful backyard. Don't you want to be out there enjoying it and seeing that? Unless you have like a beautiful front garden, that may be a different story. But wasting money on these beautiful, massive pieces of furniture for the front of your home, they don't do anything for your curb appeal. They're just adding extra mass that don't look great. If you do have these though, I know you're a people watcher and I know that you're nosy and you're in everyone's business because you're just watching your neighbors. Save your money on this. Honestly, I'm great with having like pots and a little bit of decor out there, but you don't need the furniture. Have that in the backyard. This is probably going to rile a lot of people up and I don't care. This is my opinion and it is my professional opinion, but it is going to be ugly numbers on the front of your house or giant last names. I think they're so overdone and so tacky. Builder grade numbers that most homes come with look so funny half the time. Like I know you went to a hardware store and you got them. At least have something that's unique, unless you're from a township where you have like 30 numbers and that's your address, then I get it. There's nothing you can do about it. But if you have like, 1 to 4 digits, there are so many companies out there that have really beautiful, unique exterior numbers that add character. They add a sense of like whimsy to your home and they really look fantastic instead of just having your bold number 7. Hardware like this is really the jewelry for the front part of your home because that's the one thing that people are looking at. Make it a standout feature. It doesn't need to be tacky like your last name because, I mean, unless it's your forever home and you really want that. If I see the Smiths, it's not doing anything for the front of your house. I'm going to tell you that straight to your face. I have no shame in telling you, remove that. It doesn't need to be there. Now I got to find a stonemason that's going to be able to replace that because the Smiths are not going to live there forever. Now let me know in the comments which of these your home is guilty of, because I 100% am sure a few of you are guilty of these. And if your neighbor needs to hear this, just send them this video. That'll be the subtle flex of you telling them that they need an update. And at the end of the day, if you're ever second guessing yourself, just ask, what would Design Daddy do?